Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, dear colleagues and guests. It's a privilege to be here in New Delhi. If you want to understand our changing world and you want to see the future in full real time, there's honestly no better place to be than right here. Yesterday I was talking to a journalist down here called Adarsh. We were discussing the state of the world and we got into the topic of freedom. He shared an Indian perspective with me and I can't get it out of my head. He said, freedom should feel like stretching your arms wide open. You need space to unfold, to make your own choices and live with the consequences as long as, of course, that your arms doesn't hit anyone else. But then he added, if you stretch your arms and instead of air, you hit a system, a state, an overprotective law, then you lack the trust. And when trust disappears, people rebel. That's a powerful warning to us. When I look at the global political landscape today, I see a worrying trend. We, the system, the politicians, are moving way too close to citizens' freedom. In our eagerness to protect them, we are standing in the way of their arms. We are here at NXT to talk about globalization and cooperation. Yet when we look at the most powerful tool humanity have ever built to connect us, technology, we see a massive global paradox. In too many parts of the world, we watch each other with suspicion. We suspect each other's technology of spying or stealing data. Instead of building bridges, we use new tech to build digital walls. Sadly, as politicians, we let fear become our strongest currency. We have lost faith in the common sense of our people. Here, many Western countries can and should learn from India. India has started a digital revolution in the recent years, but it was driven not by fear, not by losing control. It was driven by a desire to empower the people. When I walked the streets of Delhi the other day and saw a street vendor selling tea using a QR code on his phone, I see a society that embraces the future. You have built a digital infrastructure that allows the individuals to grow. You have given people room to stretch their arms. But in many other parts of the world, governments are acting like afraid parents. Let me give you an example. Let's rewind to when many of us in this room were kids back in the 70s and 80s. Back then, a playground wasn't necessarily a safe place. It was made of concrete, raw wood and steel, sometimes a rusty screw stuck out of the slide. It wasn't designed to be flawless. It was designed to be used. And when we fell down from the top of the climbing frame, it hurt. We scraped our knees. Did we run home and sue the government? No. We put a Band-Aid on it. We wiped our eyes, and we learned a quick lesson about basic physics. Gravity always wins, so next time, hold on tighter. We learned how to feel the world. Today, playgrounds all over the Western world are covered in soft rubber. There are no sharp edges. On the benches, there are parents sitting, ready to stop everything long before anything happens, shouting, "Careful, don't go up there, it's dangerous." But what happens to kids and to citizens in general who are never allowed to fall? They never learn how to get up. They start believing that the state is a giant rubber mattress that will always catch them. Fundamentally, that is extremely fragile society to build. A society wrapped in bubble wrap, where no one dares to take responsibility for themselves. We are doing the exact same thing in the digital world right now. Lawmakers around the globe are lining up to limit young people's access to the internet, to the social media, and AI. We say technology makes them anxious and insecure. But let's stop and look at the mirror just for a second. Is it really just the screen's fault? During the pandemic, we politicians locked a whole generation of kids in their rooms for 2 years, away from friends, away from school, and we told them to live their life on Microsoft Teams. It's a really surprise. Is it a surprise that that also shaped them? The solution many politicians choose is ban or age limits. But dear colleagues, let's be honest. Trying to stop a 12-year-old on the internet with a piece of legislation is like stopping the monsoon rain with a tea strainer. It's simply impossible. Here in India, you have a fantastic word, jugaad. It's all about finding a creative workaround, an unconventional fix to a problem. The children of the world are masters in digital jugaad. While we sit in our parliaments inventing complicated national laws to block access, it takes a 12-year-old exactly 2 minutes to download a VPN. One click, and their telephone is in Canada or Singapore. Suddenly, our strict rules are just a useless piece of paper. In fact, we actually make it worse. Because when you make something forbidden, you automatically also make it exciting. Try telling a kid 2 days before Christmas, you're absolutely not allowed to look under the bed. We all know what happens when we turn our back to the child. They look for presents. Our job as political leaders is not to take the phone away from our citizens or to censor their reality. Our job is to teach them how to navigate. We need to teach them that the internet is the world's biggest library. It's full of knowledge, global networks, opportunities to prepare them for the future. And yes, we also have to accept that technology is also used for a lot of other things. The internet can be a place where you can waste 2 hours of watching videos with fat cats trying to jump from a table falling into a box. A place where people can invent 15-second dances like flush and so on that no one understands, like we don't get the 6-7. It's absurd, it's silly, yeah, but it's a complete waste of time also. But it's also human. We cannot and we should not never make laws against the human need to be bored, to laugh, also at something silly. The truth is, technology holds a magic wand that we throw away for poor fear. Yesterday I took a walk here in Delhi. I wore smart glasses from Meta with built-in AI. I looked at a sign in Hindi. I didn't understand anything. Asked the glasses what I saw, and a fraction of a second later, the translation was whispered directly into my ear in real time. Think about that. Never before in human history we had such a powerful tool to tear down walls that divide us. We can remove language barriers, we can remove distance, and we can share knowledge across the globe in a split second. We should be working together right now like never before. Instead, we are seeing wars around the globe like never before. We should be building the future together, but that requires us to let us go off control just a little bit. It requires us not to use our PowerPoint to point fingers to global partners, claiming we won't trust them or just because they live on a different continent. We do not create stronger or safer world by packing the globe into bubble wrap, bans and local laws. We do not win the future by letting fear sit at the head of the table. We must dare to believe in freedom. We must trust the common sense of our citizens. We must build a world where countries and people can stretch their arms wide open without hitting a wall of fear. And most importantly, we must give the next generation the freedom to fall, because that's the only way they will learn to rise again. Thank you for your ears, and thank you for hosting a great conference here in New Delhi.